Hello, 2 clicks from KO. Fans and friends, as always, I am Aries Edge. This is the first edition of Ask Aries. Um, it is basically a new thing that I am trying out to do here on the 2 clicks from KO YouTube page, as I had been doing it on Facebook, and now I am going to bring it to here. So, hey, what's going on, Mr. Cantu? So, all right, we're going to jump right into the question. It's a great question. It's got many layers to it, okay? So, Brian Poling asks, I feel like a topic at some point should be how to treat players brand new to the competitive scene. PJ, as in PJ Boland, kind of sets the standards for this. As I have seen him meant to say coach. We had a conversation about that afterwards. New players on how to beat him. We need more. He swears, stuff like that, so we don't drive newbies off. Okay, it's a great question. It's a great topic. It's something that is fun, and it should be fun to talk about. So, big thing is we all need to take ownership over something like this. We all need to take ownership over getting new players into the game. It's not all based on whiz kids. It's not all glass half empty type of stuff. Okay. So the first thing you need to do is you need to get people to actually play the game. So you need to continue to do those new guy nights and things like that Whiz Kids has been doing. Whiz Kids has been doing a pretty good job of that right now as it is. They are going out there and they put together a lot of those oh god, they had those new guy kits where you could bring a friend and they had the 3 figures in it, stuff like that. Also, if you want to grow your brand, if you want to grow your player base, things like that, you need to make sure that you are going to step back a little bit and maybe coach them. Go slowly. So, the question at hand, the question that was specific, though, was how do we get people into competitive play without ruining it for them? And what was remarked was PJ Boland does a good job of this. And a lot of what PJ does, because I've seen it happen live and in person at Worlds this year, is he likes to, I wouldn't say speed up play, but he's reminding you of your options. And a lot of times, and this is something that is a different question for a different time, is how do you speed up someone's play, or how do you recognize if somebody is not just slow playing you? And what I mean by that is um people play at a certain pace, and there are also players that just don't know how to process certain things. So what PJ is doing, and what a lot of players I've seen do, is they ask you, what are you trying to accomplish? What are you doing right now? What are you trying to accomplish? What are you seeing? Because they want to get as many actions in as you do. So if they see you struggling, if they see you taking a little bit more time going over things, they will basically ask you, hey, what are you doing? What are you trying to accomplish? And then break down what you're trying to do. Now, so for competitive play, this is something that you can do easily. A lot of venues, even my venue, we do 2 different types of play on 2 different nights, Wednesdays and on Sundays. Um, Wednesdays was more of our competitive night. Sundays was more of the casual night. So if you have a casual night, or if you have time to be able to sit with somebody and go over certain things like that, you can explain to them and show them different strategies. You can show them alpha strike strategies. You can show them more complicated don't die tech. You can show them a whole assortment of different things. Now, the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to get overcomplicated, and people are going to complain, or they're going to gripe and say, well, that's WizKids' fault. It's actually not. WizKids has dumbed down a lot of the verbiage and a lot of the language for new players and just for playing in general. So please don't put that on WizKids saying that they're still creating issues. Yes, sometimes the interactions they have with certain things can be a little difficult, but they are still taking our feedback and they are making things easier for newer players in general. Again, it's an opportunity to look at it as the glass is half full. It's the fact that we are very, very intelligent when it comes to breaking down certain rules and breaking down the game as a whole. What I mean by that is that every game that you play, every miniatures game, every card game, every game, period, they have watch lists, they have ban lists, they have those kinds of things, and those interactions are there because of the fact that their player base is very smart. So the fact that we still have watch lists and we have to have a rules interpretation and things like that is because we are dissecting the game at a much higher rate than what WizKids is. Now, if you want players to get into the game, you have to dumb down the game and go slow with them. It's the same thing for competitive play. You have to introduce certain things a little slower, I guess, into the game for them. Introduce them again. Don't die tech ID cards, and right now we're kind of. I don't want to say we're super dumbed down because there are still some formats out there that allow for resources, entities, ID cards, things like that. So pick your poison, pick something to show them, I don't know, 1 week at a time, and keep introducing new items to them. Special objects this week. Next week, we'll go ahead and we'll sprinkle in some ID cards. Maybe after that, we'll do some special terrain. Continue to try and grow. The best feeling in the world is when you can teach players a game and then they can start beating you at it. And then okay, like they have eclipsed me. Now it's time that I need to start stepping up my game. So, and by also another way to get players to actually want to stick around, to want to play, don't be jerks when you're playing them. Don't slow roll them on purpose. Don't do certain things on purpose. I'll give you an example. I played Tony Rodriguez this year at Worlds. It was my first matchup. He was playing, I believe it was a mystical theme team. He had Sheriff Strange, Nightshade, really cool team. On turn 3, I believe it was, I stopped before I did anything. And I said, hey, I just want to let you know, we both missed it. I'm catching it now. I'm putting an extra action token on Sam Cap because I did use an ID card and you're playing Sheriff Strange. And he was super, super ecstatic about the fact that I caught the mistake. I called out the mistake and then I corrected the mistake while other people would. I mean, I'm not going to point fingers. I'm not saying people would do it maliciously or even on purpose. But if they caught it, would they have maybe been like, let me just see if I can do something else or that? I stopped. I corrected it. It didn't impact the game. And he was super appreciative of it. Now, if that's a new player and you do that and you show them that you're doing the right things and you're trying to, and this is a teachable moment. Hey, this is something that you need to be looking for too, because it is not just your opponent's responsibility. It's also your responsibility to uphold the integrity of the game status. So do something like that. Now, what Brian Poling doesn't know is that PJ Bolin is a used car salesman. And what I mean is he's going to mislead you too sometimes. Okay. So he's going to give you all your options, but he may not want you to actually use some of those options. And he did it in a battle royal with me. Now, like I'm saying, PJ's a good guy. He's a great guy, but he kind of looked over at me and gave me the stinky face. So the map, all right, we're playing in a battle royal. I am sitting bottom right. He's sitting next to me, a player across from him, and a player over there. Okay. So we're playing. And he gets to a certain spot. I think I'm up on points at the time. He's playing the Iron Man, like the steampunk Iron Man rare from Battle World. Now, he knows coming around. I think I was playing the Iron Man, the Spider Island Iron Man. So he knows I've got a cannon basically on my side. Plus, I've got 3, I think, probability controls. So he knows it's hurt. He knows I'm going to one-shot it. He knows I'm trying to get his points. So comes around. I think he did something with it. Now, thank you. Thank you, Zach, for stopping in. Appreciate it, man. So the guy who's sitting across from him is mulling over his options. So now PJ starts doing what was said. I think one of the best things players can do is discuss turning points. in a game after it is over so new players can see a mistake, misfortune, and make steps? Absolutely. I will touch on that after this story. That's a great point. Being open to conversation. So we'll get to that right afterwards. But so what PJ does is he starts now openly talking. Okay, well, let's see what your options are. And he's giving the guy good options and stuff. But I see where he's leading him. He's leading him into an area where he's trying to purposely try to not be able to let me get those points. So I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. If you put up a barrier, though, because he's telling the guy, yeah, you've got one action left. You can put a barrier up and you can put it up this way to kind of protect your guys in there and stuff so he can't attack you. And, with this turn, he can't do this and that. And I'm like, yeah. So, but you're also burying yourself in because, I'm going to try and shoot your Iron Man on my turn and you don't want me to snipe the points. And he's like, well, that's besides the point, but I'm also protecting him from this. So me and PJ kind of had a back and forth about it, which was funny. And the other two guys are looking at us like they didn't know if we were being serious or if we were crazy or what we were doing. But PJ talks, tells him, hey, man, you do it this way. You're going to protect yourself. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. So he does it. The guy puts the barrier up and I'm like, oh, you bastard. So PJ blocks himself out for me getting those points. I ended up, I think, taking something from the person who was across from me. He was not very happy because it took a lot of opportunities away from him to go across to that side of the map to take those points. So now what PJ does is he makes the guy pay for putting up the barrier and he quakes with that Iron Man. And the guy realizes what had happened. So PJ quakes. I think he may have hit a couple of those guys back into their own barrier that takes some knockback damage and stuff like that. The guy ended up killing the Iron Man, getting the points, but PJ, he got his point across. The points didn't go to me when I was already up on points, and he still got to do a little bit of damage on Iron Man's way out, knowing he was on his way out. But again, so then there are guys that will tell you exactly, hey, these are the options you have. And barrier was a very good option at the time. It protected probably some of those guys for an extra turn. It still allowed PJ to go ahead and get a quake off with Iron Man and blow up some stuff in that area. But again, in my opinion, probably was still the guy's best option to do, even eating the quake afterwards, knowing that I was coming across the side of the map and the guy who was next to him was coming to that side of the map also. So what Aaron just pointed out was, I think one of the best things players can do is discuss the turning points, in air quotes, in a game after it is over so new players can see a mistake or misfortune and make steps to correct later. So that's a great point. A lot of times people don't want to talk after a game, especially if they've made mistakes or something like that. But as a veteran player, or even if it's a good game or something like that, if you lose, take something away from it. Always take something away. Everything is a learning experience, whether it be the psychology of Heroclix. How does a certain player play? How does a certain player react to certain things? It's almost like playing poker. If you've ever played poker, a lot of times people will win and they win without the best hands. You can still win this game even without the best teams if you can outplay battle strategy, things like that. But you have to be open to conversation. You have to let somebody critique and or talk about certain key points that happen in a matchup. And again, it's about the packaging. It's about the packaging. The gift can be great, but if the packaging looks horrible, people are going to be turned off by it. So it's also presentation with that. You can't just be like, hey man, you're really screwed up. No, ease your way into that conversation and be like, hey, you had other options here, and talk about it. And if they come back with, well, this is what I was thinking, this, and this, you can be like, that's a great point. I didn't even see that. Or be like, well, if you did that, you have to be able to have that kind of a conversation, win, lose, or draw, whatever the case is. If you want your players to get better, or if you want to get better personally, you have to be able to have that kind of conversation. Zach says, when I was a newer player, that was invaluable advice, although it didn't help much because I'm still bad. Again, I still talk to players who, I went to a winner map not too long ago. I went 1-2. I still took away certain things from that game. from that whole event just for the fact that there were certain things I completely forgot about being able to do. I had Medusa, and someone pointed out to me, "Hey, remember, you can go ahead and TK yourself too." And I was like, "Oh God, I forgot." And it's already like game 3. I'm like, "Oh God, I completely forgot about that." But somebody was there to still talk to me and give me advice and tell me, "Hey, remember, after she moves, she can then free TK herself another 3, and she's got giant reach 3, so she's swinging for 9 squares." That completely changed the entire way I played the 3rd game, and I won. "Hello, what's up? I don't know what report is." I don't know what that means. So, but yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Those are the kinds of things, um, that's how we're going to better the future for this game. We can't sit back and say, "Well, WizKids is gonna do it for us. They're gonna put certain things into play for us. They're gonna do this for this, that." No. If you want newer players to play competitive and they want to play competitive, it's gonna be on us as the player base to do that. And we have all the technology at our hands now with Roll20. Winamaps are in every corner of the country, of the world, of the continent. Winamaps are popping up in ungodly numbers, and it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. What do we have here? See this emoji? I see yeah, I see that little emoji. That's one of my favorite parts of traveling to play, talking with new players and having all those different perspectives and thought process. Thank you, Emily. I'm not sure what the other person is that is named report. So I don't know if it's someone being an idiot or what. But again, that's the way to play the game. That's going to be what drives people to want to continue to play. And there are some players that are always going to want to play casually. They're going to want to play Great Lakes Avengers. They're going to want to play their fun stuff, and that's fine. But you can still find ways. I thank you. I do have a very sexy beard. I'm working on that. I have to grow it. I cut it. Anyways, we're getting off topic here now. Well, nice to meet you. I'm Jake Peter from YouTube headquarters. Hi, Jake. What are you wearing? Khakis? So I don't know if that's a real person or not. So they have the YouTube symbol there. Um, I hope they are from YouTube. I hope you're enjoying the content. I hope you're having a great time. I hope you promote my page. That'd be great. Thanks. Thanks for stopping in. But I forgot what I was but that's how you're gonna again, even if people want to play casually, always always talk rules, always buff up on things. In one of the chats we had today, someone asked, "Hey, how does immune work?" It's a newer key phrase. It's on the pack. And they just made a ruling on it where immune has protected pulse wave. So you can't get through a first turn immunity. If someone has immune, you can't get around it through pulse wave. That's actually just got ruled on. I think it was today or yesterday, a couple days ago, maybe. Jacob Payne. Well, the WWE clicks have shifting focus Mick Foley. Now we're going way off topic. If we're talking WWE clicks, let me tell you right now, they should have a lot of shifting focus characters. There should be a shifting focus. Mick Foley would be great. Shifting focus Mick Foley would be amazing. You could have Mick Foley, Mankind, Cactus Jack. Oh, God. Dude Love. Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on WWE clicks. You just got here. Well, thank you for showing them. We're just chucking out issues with streams. Do new bugs appearing. I'm going to head to the next stream. Have a great day. Hey, thank you for stopping in, man. Appreciate it. I saw the thing. It says report. I thought someone was just screwing with me. I appreciate you stopping into the stream. If you enjoy it, hey, tell your YouTube friends. We appreciate you coming in. So, but yeah, yeah. So, you just got here. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. I really, really, really do appreciate it. So yeah, if you want to get new players involved in competitive play, you have to be able to, you have to be able to give criticism too. And it doesn't have to be harsh. It doesn't have to be heavy-handed. You don't have to be a jerk about it. I mean, sometimes you might, because you might have a stubborn player who doesn't get the point, doesn't get the picture, and you gotta like hammer it home and be like, hey, listen, no, like I need you to like, this is what you're doing. Like, this is where your team maybe needs a little extra oomph. But you have to have dialogue, and you have to be able to set time aside, and you have to have a good shop owner or a shop manager or someone who's also going to put in the same amount of time that you are. If you're the judge, or if you're one of the veteran players there, um, they have to, on an off day, if they have a free table and you have a player. I know for a fact Aaron has played matches with me on Roll20 to get me better, to maybe pick my brain on certain things that I'm doing. Um, he's played with his own local guys who are getting into the competitive scene because winter maps are becoming more and more pertinent. I answer questions from people. Hey, what do you think about this team? And I'll give them my honest advice, and they'll be like, well, this is why I'm not playing that. And I'll be like, well, hey man, good for you. I appreciate it. I would play that because of, and I give them XYZ. And they're like, those are good points, but I'm playing this because of XYZ. And we have an open conversation. That's the only way this game is going to survive, is if we have open communication. Brian Poling, thank you so much. That was a great question. I feel like I'm just going in circles now, hammering home the same points over and over. If anybody is out there right now and you have any other questions quickly that you want to go over with me, please, by all means, go ahead and throw those out now. I am going to be trying to do this more and more throughout the week, and they may not be very long streams. It might be a 10-minute stream about this or that or whatever the case may be. But also I want to say thank you to Jacob Payne. Jacob has thrown in a couple of questions as well. He is hosting the Rock State Championship for Missouri on April 6th in Independence, Missouri at Game Cafe. So thank you, Jacob. I appreciate the conversations that we've had and things like that. So check out Jacob. If you're in the Missouri area, go check out his venue as well. Oh, and he's right there. Driving, or I'd ask a bunch. Please, yeah, don't do that. Christian Bogan, I don't have any questions, but I enjoyed the content. Thanks for streaming and being a great advocate for the game. That's awesome, man. I appreciate that. I I'm humbled by the amount of conversations I have throughout a day, by the outpouring of feedback that myself and Aaron get and AJ get on a regular basis from 2Clicks, from KO. I never thought that I would be where I am right now with this game. 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. And the reason I can actually sit here with this microphone and talk to you guys is because of all the feedback and the wonderful community we have. And sometimes, yeah, it's not a great place, and sometimes people troll. I troll. You have to have fun with this game sometimes, but in the grand scheme of things, this is why the game is great. Let me just pull up something quickly for you guys as well, just to. I mean, I did the 12 Days of Clicksmith, which was recommended by my fiance now, not my girlfriend, my fiance. And guys like David Colon, Mr. Clixo himself, Aaron Cantu from 2Clicks from KO, donated. Benjamin Norris donated stuff. I'm probably forgetting people. Tyler Locke, I believe, from Smetrat's Games. There were so many donations. We ended up going to like 14 or 15 days. Also, on another note, it's things like this that doing the Benjamin Mitchell recently just had a house fire and lost a big portion of if not everything he owns, but also his Heroclix. So excuse me. Yes, Benjamin Mitchell. It's the Bryant Fire Relief Fund. There is a GoFundMe on HIE right now, and it is already up to $1,800. And so things like that. The Jordan Yang, I really hope that I didn't. Yep, the Jordan Yang Memorial Tournament we did for his nephew that passed away, and I was able to give stuff to that. This is the kinds of things that make this community outstanding. It makes it worth it. Make sure to tell them how they can get questions, topics into you for other episodes. Hey, thanks, man. Again, you can hit me up on Facebook. You can hit me up at Aries Edge on Facebook. You can also send me emails to AriesEdge2626 at gmail.com. I probably should have put it in the description of this, but I didn't because it's my first episode and I'm an idiot. So I did that as well. So please send me messages on Facebook. I'm always available to talk there. If you have a question that you want to be anonymous, that you don't want your name on for whatever reason it is, send the question and say, hey, I don't want to be tagged. I don't want to be named. I won't name you, but I will bring up the question because there are some topics and there are some questions that some people may not personally want to throw right out there and put their name on it, but they do want answers for it, or they do want it out into the interwebs. And I am more than happy to facilitate that for you. So send me messages. I want to do this as much as possible. I want to do it. It doesn't have to be super intricate questions like this, where we're breaking down the mentality and psychology of new players and things like that. It can be just, hey, what do you think of this set coming out? And I'll tell you, it's this or it's that, or here's the pros and here's the cons. Whatever you want to talk about, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sit here. I might put something a little better in this section, just so when I film, you can have some cool stuff to look at besides my fiance's Minnesota Wild hockey jersey and my Ray Nitschke Green Bay Packer jersey hanging there. But yeah, I might throw up some stuff there. I have an original Batman, Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson poster that I could at least just hang from something just for the time being and then take it off. Jacob Payne, did you talk about the balance of being competitive when teaching competitive to new players too hard and you crush their spirit? Yes, exactly. Well, that's the thing too, is if you can even just sit over their shoulder and be like, I'm not playing this tournament. I'm going to sit with you. And if it's okay with everybody, or send private messages to the show, you can do that too. You can send private messages to 2 Clicks from KO. You're so not hanging that up. Oh, I'm hanging that up. I'm taking it down right after. So those of you that don't know, Blue 18 right there is my fiance. And apparently I am not hanging up the Batman movie poster. I may hang it up just for recording purposes and then take it down. But apparently it's not going to be a permanent fixture behind me. But yes, you can message me. You can message the show at 2 Clicks from KO on Facebook as well. Sorry, Aaron. I didn't want to, I didn't mean to just hog all of that. I apologize. But yes, I mean, get creative. That's the best thing I can think of is get creative. Do a couple nights a week. If you have the space at your house, or if you just have the open play space and it's not too far away, go play on an off night. Go talk strategies. There's many different things that you can do to get people who stay interested in the game and stay competitive. I had a guy in my area, Jason Osborne, he dabbled with competitive play for a little while and then really started to travel, going to WizKids Opens, trying to play competitive, putting together good teams, been to a couple state championships, went to Worlds, and kind of fell in love with a Transformers game, but is still playing competitive Heroclix, and is wanting to knock the rust off. And I actually host here. He'll come here and we'll play and things like that. So if there is no other questions or comments or anything like that, we are going to wrap this up. We are going to send it back to nowhere. And I will come back again with another live video, hopefully sometime this week. Again, check us out on Facebook, 2 Clicks from KO. Subscribe to the page. Subscribe to here. So when I do go live, you will get your notifications. And please be on the lookout for more things. We do have more content and more stuff to give away coming up soon. So please be on the lookout for that. Until next time, you can find our podcast also on iTunes, I believe, also on SoundCloud. Aaron, I listen to it through iTunes. You can also find it here on YouTube, on the YouTube page as well. But I definitely know it's on iTunes. So, everyone, have a great evening. May all of your rolls be critical hits. I'm out.